Maybe it's good. It's freaking harder than hell, that's for sure. So today I thought I would do a quick Flappy Bird style tutorial, just a small quick little tutorial. So we need well, we need a few different things. We need a sprite for our bird, and this can be the player, and that could be, I don't know what I have for sprites. I might it really doesn't matter what I'm using. You can have them animated as well, but I don't know if I have much for animated. I might just use this little person, even though they're not small. That's good enough. Not going to spend too much time on it, but it is a relatively large sprite. I'm going to actually make it smaller. If you go to your textures, like if these things are really big or the size is right messed up, like if I say take that to 50, watch what happens. Boof. Real big, right? And if I go to like 500, it shrinks right down, right? So there's various things you can do in the ways of these things. So let's put a capsule collider 2D, and let's put a rigid body 2D, and that's probably good. Let's get the camera so it's at least sitting there nicely. Where's the camera? The camera's at -10, that's fine. Let's go to orthographic. Adjust the size, roughly how big we want to be. Maybe 7. 7's probably good enough. We need a background, so I'm just going to put a big sprite background. I know what I have, but we're going to find something. If you haven't seen my tutorial for parallax, well, maybe I do have that in this tutorial. That action, I could put that on. That makes things even easier. Yeah, something like this. That might be fine. Because if I have my parallax, then I could just do this. Let's move that over to 25, 26, nope, 25. It is 25. And duplicate it again and go -25. And I can now parallax. Oh, maybe I don't have my parallax in this version. Oh, whatever. Well, I'll just make the background follow the player. It's not that big of a deal. For now, if you do follow or go watch my parallax, there's a link to the GitHub in the parallax video description on how you can make parallax, and then this thing just effortlessly moves. So obviously now our background is like stupid in front. We don't want that. -1. I'm going to put the player actually at 2. And really, I mean, that's kind of all you really need. If you get the parallax thing, the background's just gonna go for as long as humanly possible. So let's put these at 0, and we need some pipes. So I'm gonna make an empty, and we're gonna stick it like this, and this is gonna be pipes, and it's going to have 2 children. It's going to have a sprite, and it's going to be some sort of barrier, right? It doesn't have to be a pipe, but I will use something. Let's use no, it's kind of pipe-ish. A little weird, but pipe-ish. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to rotate it 180. And I'm going to move this one down, -10. Move this one up Let's go 5 instead. 5 and -5. Is that too far? No, it's not far enough. 7.5. I think 7.5 is gonna be good. Yeah, it might be a little tough, but okay. So there's our pipes. I know it doesn't look like much, and right. So we're gonna want it to spawn, say, as low as 0 and as high as 4. 0 to 4. Okay, so I'm just going to prefab this. Oh, you know what? First we need to put maybe I'll do a poly collider 2D. So it's relatively accurate then. And you know what? We can probably give this an icon. You can name it anything. I'm gonna call it dead, whatever. Dead will work. And so this is now. We can prefab that. And there we go. Now we have pipes. I can delete those. So player wise, if I add a FSM and pipe wise, how far? We'll say 15 is at a screen. So get position 2D. Let's constantly get our position on the X. And if float compare, if X is greater than, you would think, okay, if it's greater than, say, 15, create pipe. Now it's not quite right, but that's kind of the basics of it, right? So I could then create this at you know, at 15, right? Be like that. But that's not quite good. It's good for one of them, and that's not good for the rest of them, though, right? So what we need to do is, let's say we get our position only once, and we could say start position, right? So we get our start position, and then we're going to get position again before, and actually, you know what, we could do this with the X actually, and then we're going to get the X as X every frame, so we get it twice. Now if X is greater than start X, then we can create a pipe. Now it doesn't matter where we are on the map. Just whenever we come into this state, once we've moved 15, we can create a pipe. Right? So start X, our current X. So the other thing we want to do is float add. You could also do an operator here, I suppose. Let's do start X and add. Let's go 5. Alright, so if that's the case, we're going to create a pipe at a certain position. And what is that position? It is going to be at, well, let's use this one because we're going to need a vector 2. So now let's do vector 2 xy. So we're going to take our start position and we're going to add 15, and then where are we here? Maybe it's not 15, maybe it's 5. Add 5. We'll see if that works anyways. And for the y, let's go 0 to 4.5. And now we can go Y. Right, so okay, well now we're going to create that at the Y. And then when we're done, we're just going to come back here. So this ultimately, what we should get, and if I take the player and let's put them in the kinematic for a minute, just to test this, we should have, as we move, oh, you see how we're getting pipes in the same spot. I obviously used the wrong variable because we are putting, oh yeah, whoops. Let's put that there. Let's use start position. Convert start position. Spawn point 0. Now we could add those into a array and be checking that array, and when they get, you know, to a certain distance, destroy them. All right, so now as you see, like, we're gonna have this system where they're just coming in, all right, as fast as you can make them. All right, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, maybe we will. Let's do array list. So I'm going to do this with the array maker. Created pipes. And when we create a pipe, this is now the created pipe. Let's array list add. Let's add our created pipe to this list. That's it. That's all we got to do. Now, we're going to make another FSM real quick because we're going to manage this little pipe here. So all we're going to do is array list get next. Or do we have a distance one actually? That might even be even easier. I don't see nothing. Well, whatever. Not a big deal. So created pipes, we're going to go like this. We're going to loop. And we're going to have it done. And we're going to have a type as a game object. We have a current. And we're going to add our little events here. Boop, loop, and boop. Done. Okay, done. Boop. When we're done, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go right back in there, but we're going to do a tiny wait. We really don't need to run this frickin' that rapidly. I was going to go with like next frame, but really, does it matter if they're, just as long as we're keeping up on them once in a while, it's fine. So all we're going to do is we're going to get distance. Get distance from our user to the current. There's our distance. This doesn't need to be every frame. Once is fine. And float compare. And if distance is, we'll say greater than 25, then destroy it. And if it's less, keep it. If it's equal, we'll keep it. Now I totally spelled keep it wrong. That's like kept it. Keep it. Whatever. Who cares? So we're going to destroy it. We're going to go over here and we're going to destroy object. Destroy object. We're destroying the current. You could also use a pooling system for this if you wanted to. There we go. So that's going to manage all our pipes being made. Add FSM. Let's call this movement. So let's, on our player, let's go put this back into dynamic. We're going to go into our movement, and what do we want to do? Let's do get key. Get key down. There we go. Well, we'll just use space. It's good enough. Space, send event, and call it flap. Flap. So we come over. What are we going to do? All we're going to do is add force. And this is going to be, we're going to go Y. We'll add, I don't know if I should do, impulse, for, yeah, you know, I'm gonna try the impulse. All right, then we're gonna come back over here, and over here, I'm going to set velocity, and I forgot to do that other one in 2D, so we need to fix that up. And I'm just gonna go like 4 every frame. So when you're adding force, don't just add force. Add force 2D. Oh, not Chronos. All right, add force. Let's go impulse. And what did I say? 15? 15? We'll have to test out. I don't know if that's going to be too much, so we'll test it. All we're doing is hitting space. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a little high. I think this thing could probably be, I don't know, we'll try to go, we'll go a little faster. You know what I'm going to do though? I am going to take the gravity scale. I'm going to double it. No. Go up by 50%. And then, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to get velocity. This is going to prevent something for us. Is I'm going to have just this one little state here that when we come over here, we're going to get velocity really quick. Oh, that's a Chronos one. There we go, that one there. Got so many freaking get velocities here, Lord 100. So this is going to be our velocity. I need a length, vector 2 length, and this is going to tell us how much velocity we have. It's kind of like it's the magnitude, and float compare. So what we're going to say is we're going to get the velocity and we're going to test our magnitude, how fast we're going. And if the length is, say, above, I don't know, we'll say 20. If we're greater than that, then you know what? Don't add force. Screw it. We're not going to do it. And if we're less than, okay. Or, you know, you can add force, but add just a tiny bit, maybe. I don't know. And, well, okay, for now, I'm just going to attach the camera to the player so we can see this. I think I want to up the force a bit. Oh, and let's fix that, of course. So, on the rigid body, let's freeze that rotation. We don't want that. And movement, I'm going to up this just by a tiny bit. Maybe we'll say 18. Okay, cool. And that should do with that. Now I want a FSM. And we also, actually, let's do the camera first. Let's add an FSM to the camera. And let's get, actually, you know what? Let's just follow. Or let's just use move towards. Move towards will work. Move towards. And let's transform point. And let's look at. So we're going to have the camera. Okay, so first of all, we're going to transform the point of the player. That's not the player, that's the player. And as you can see, where the camera's sitting right now is at -10, right? So I'm going to try to maintain that -10 right here. And that result is going to be a vector. I'm just going to write vector. And we want to look at player. Keep vertical, yes. We want this thing to move towards, not the player, we want to move towards our vector. and we're not going to have a finish distance. We'll have a speed of 15. Alright, and that should allow us. Now he should just move towards. Might speed it up or slow it down. Maybe slow it down a bit. Alright. So let's take this and let's go down to 10. That'll work. And what else should we do? Let's add another sprite. I'm gonna add a square. Just a normal square. Add a box collider. And you know what? He is also going to be called dead. And I am going to make their X like just stupid. I'm just going to stick it up here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it right. Oh, I guess it would help if I... There we go. So let's stick it like there. And duplicate it. Stick the other one down here. Alright. Now all we need is a score system of some type. So you think, like, how the hell do you count the pipes? But you got to remember, if we are right, so okay, that's our pipe manager. I should name those things, whatever. So here we have this, right? We're creating a pipe at this position, at start position plus that. So every time we hit this position, we're going through the pipe, right? No? Maybe? So let's say, let's add a property. Let's get get next score. And I spelt that wrong, and I don't really care. And in this, we're gonna use get event property, and this is gonna be called next position. It's going to be a type vector 3, and that's our target. And then we want to get no, wait, we can't quite do that. No, we can't. No, we can't. No, we can't. But what we can do is do this. Array get next. So we can go through this array, and we can loop, and we can done. And it is a type game object, so we got a current. And when we loop, all we got to do is then get position, 2D and 2D, I guess. So of the current, let's just get the X. So that's the current X, and a position of ourselves, our X, and flow compare. If our X is greater than the current X, we have scored, right? Or however you want to name it. So we have some sort of score event here. For now, I'm just going to go back here. And when this thing's done, we're just going to come down here. And I'm just going to go next frame. Finish. Oh, you know what? That is going to cause one tiny issue. It will, it will, it will. So what we need is another proxy. And you'll see exactly why, and it's going to be quite simple. So all we're going to do is array list add. So when we go to score, we're going to do past pipes, type game object, add the current. When we pass a pipe, put it into the past pipes. And now, with our little manager here, I'm not going to use the created pipes, I'm going to use the past pipes. So we kind of just shift. As we pass a pipe, we push it over to the next array. Right. And let's see. So pass pipes, right? We've passed 2 pipes. There we go. Right. So I mean, score-wise, it's also we've gained 2 score. So let's kind of evaluate that. Let's make a canvas. And let's make a stuffed all my stuff though, so whatever, no big deal. We'll just do one of these. We'll just say +1, and do we have a better text than that? I kind of like the green better. No, not that's ugly. That's not bad. That's weird. That's kind of classic, I think. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to go with that one. Alright, so we have that. It says +1. Auto size. Sure, it really doesn't matter. Color HDR. You know what? Can we give a little bit of glow to it? Nope, not too much. A little bit. Yeah, let's glow the outline, not the whole thing. Right, because then we could turn around and be like, hey, cool, let's add. Oh, fuck, I put the camera. There we go. A post, if I could spell right, layer and volume. Let's go new, and is global. There's that. Let's just add a bit of bloom intensity, and you know what? I'm in this guy, and for now, for this, I'm going to use the V2 on the stack. All right, so this I'm going to move over to this layer, and this thing needs a layer. Let's put it on the same layer. There we go. The camera needs this to be turned on. There we go. Let's go to this guy. Let's crank that up. I don't like that box around it. That's not very cool. Yeah, you know what? I'm not liking that little box it's giving us at all. So you know what? Screw it. We're going to go -1. We're not going to do it. We're just going to keep it like that. So this is going to be our score then, because I don't feel like dealing with that box. And where's our Flappy Bird? There it is. So let's get rid of that, and let's go back to our player, and let's go into our little score system. So we have scored. What do we want to do? We want to get position. Sure, 2D. Well, no, we should do a 3D. Get position of ourselves. Current position. World to screen. Put that to the very bottom. And the world is current position. The output's going to be a spawn position. And now we want to create move to the bottom. We want to create this guy. We want to create this guy. There we go. At spawn position. And you know what? That's probably all we're going to do. And call that good. We also could add a score up here if we wanted to. Like we could have a, you know, some sort of text somewhere. And let's put him up here. Are we in 2D? Yes, we're in 2D. And let's go. There we go. Sitting nice and flush in the corner, but he is at 250 and 50, and this can be like 0, 0, 0, and probably way better than having a bit of a color to him. Something like that. Add. No, you know what? Let's just do this over here. So let's go into our score. So we've added a score, right? So we've created a thing. Let's int add. Score add 1 build string. And let's say total pipes passed, and we are going to say our score, and this only needs to be 2, not adding anything to the end. This is a new text. Let's move this to the bottom, and then let's take this guy and UI text set text, and we want to set this text to that text that we just made. Oh, make sure he's at the bottom. Alright. You can also play sound effects too. Perfect time for it. So now we have this. Alright, so where's our little doohickey popping up? It's not popping up. It needs to be popping up. And you know what that is? Because I set parent to none. That was silly of me now, wasn't it? Because the parent needs to be the canvas. We can't spawn UI elements without a canvas. Right, so there we go. So now let's get into these things. Let's add just a touch of logic into these things with an FSM. Let's go get position 2D, and that's going to be world. Actually, you know what? No, let's not do the get. Let's just translate this thing. Let's just do some random floats. Let's just do random floats all over the place. Let's go from, I don't know, 5 to 15, and we thought, well, 5 to 15. Screw it. We'll do them both like that. Call this Y, and this one X. On the X, actually, let's go negative. Negative 5. Negative 5, I guess, would be the high. The negative 15 would be the low, because you're in the negatives. And let's just translate. Let's translate to the world our X and our Y per second. Let's wait, I don't know, 3 seconds, so maybe too long, 2 seconds. Get a finished event happening over here. Move this to the bottom. Come over here and destroy self. There we go. Alright, so now we have a... Okay, the time needs to be quicker and those values can be higher. So let's do that. So let's take this guy up to like 30 and this guy up to like 15, 10, 25. Put him down to 1. Call that good. Alright, so we need our way for our player to die. So we already have everything tagged, right? So let's just do this. Collision event. 2D. If our player hits what we have called dead, we're just going to restart. Fuckers. 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 Alright. That is hard. That is really freaking hard. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring this guy down. 15. I'm going to take this thing down like a fair bit. I want smaller jumping. And I'm going to bring the rigid body 1.2. And put a little bit of drag to it, but I think that's okay. And all right. All right, and I didn't see the text. Oh no, I did see the text. I didn't see it climbing this time. I mean, I kept dying though, so that's, you know, one thing. And obviously you'd have to fuck. Almost got to widen those pipes out just a tiny bit. All right, you know what? I am going to, yeah, you know what? I am going to widen those pipes just a smidge. Like 0.25, not very much. Don't want to make it easy. And let's go into here. I'm going to bring this guy down a little more. And I think I will put a little bit of drag. Just a bit. Alright, so the other thing is, why aren't we hitting these things? They are. They have a. Oh, frickin'. You know, sometimes I just wonder about myself. Right? Sometimes. I just. Box collider, box 2D collider. Sometimes you think they're the same, and they're not the same. Oh, well. Probably, I don't know if we should spread pipes out a little bit, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's good. It's freaking harder than hell, that's for sure. Ah. Oh my god. When they're up that high, it's just, that's crazy. Right? That's just, it's too high when they're up there. Let's go 4, not 4.5. Maybe even 3.75. And let's do float add. Let's take this up to 7. That'll spread them out just a tiny bit. Oh. Oh. Still, it's all, you almost got to bring that force down just a little bit more on the jump. But it's not too bad. It needs that parallax background, but so then one of the other things that we can do, we don't want your score just to reset constantly. That'd be stupid. Is let's do this. When we add score, I should have named these things. So when we add score, let's go set int. Set player pref set int. And let's call this Flappy score. And we're going to set it to score. Just like that. And, oh, I should have gone back in here. So, if we have a new start state, over here, let's get int to start off with. And that's going to be Flappy score. And that's going to be our starting score. We could always, and then if we want, we can run it through that build string, start it off like there too. But now it's right. We've passed 1, passed 2. And I suck. Now it shows 0 because we haven't built that string on the start. But see, we're past 5. All right, now we'll be past 6. If you know, I didn't suck at this my own little Flappy Bird game here. There we go. Whoa. Oh, crap. All right, so let's very quickly just fix that up, and then we can probably call that good. So that's the piping, that's the making. I should really name these FSMs. And that's the management of that. Let's take this movement. I'm going to bring this down to 7. And I'm going to take this FSM. This has got nothing in it. I don't know why it's even here. So see how we do all this fun stuff, right? I'm going to take these, copy, and just paste them in here. So it does it in the beginning. I'm going to go back up here and go to a linear drag and take that to 0.5. Oh, Jesus. All right, so now Now we have a much... Ah, damn it. Fuck. And we could always change the add force to a set velocity. It'd be a very reactive button push then. It might not be the best thing. I don't know. It kind of depends on your preference, right? Like if you're dropping, like for example, like you start dropping, you hit jump. Like right now, it's like kind of almost as a bit of a stutter, right? So you got to kind of hit it a few times to get going, which I think is pretty normal, classy bird or Flappy Birds, and that's kind of I think the way it would normally be. But if you wanted it so it's like you're coming down and you hit jump, you pop back up, then just change it from an add force to a set velocity, right? Doesn't need to be every frame, just to say, hey, we're going up and we're going up now, like not just adding a bit of force to counteract our downwards force. Let's just fucking go up. But that's how we make Flappy Birds. Pretty simple. Simple tutorial. Talk to you guys later.